Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the Dreaded Heroes Report. If you didn't see Monday's show on WWE, by the way, here's some roster changes from the WWE draft from Richmond, Virginia. And I also had the supplemental draft also too. I was waiting until they got through with it. They updated the supplemental draft around noon today. Anyway, we got Kelly. This is the regular draft that went on Monday's show. Kelly goes from Raw to SmackDown. Big Show goes from Raw to SmackDown. John Morrison's going from SmackDown to Raw. R-Truth from SmackDown to Raw. Edge goes from SmackDown to Raw. Kofi Kingston goes from Raw to SmackDown. Christian goes from Raw to SmackDown. Jericho goes from SmackDown to Raw. I don't know whether you would look at Raw being demoted. I mean, Raw rather getting a raise, you know. And I don't know whether the people would get paid any different from being on Raw to SmackDown. I'm kind of curious on that. Is SmackDown like a step down, Raw step up? We know the viewership is, but I don't know how they rate that money-wise. I'd like to find that. I'll find that out. I'll have to check on that. All right, live results from the 2010 supplemental draft. Here's the way this went. Great Khali and Ranjan. Of course, he's got to go with Khali, or there's no communication. Anyway, he goes from SmackDown to Raw. Chavo goes from Raw to SmackDown. Cody Rhodes goes from Raw to SmackDown. Natalya goes from SmackDown to Raw. Chris Masters goes from Raw to SmackDown. Ezekiel Jackson goes from SmackDown to Raw. Goldust goes from SmackDown to Raw. And Hornswoggle Raw to SmackDown, my fault. Alright, I started to touch on this yesterday and I ran out of time, but UFC great Tito Ortiz was arrested yesterday morning on felony domestic violence at his home that he shares with Gina Jameson in Huntington Beach, California, which I got a bunch of her movies back that way, and they've got the best plot you've ever. All these movies are just fantastic hers. Anyway, TMZ reports that the cops were called at a couple's home around 11:53 a.m. yesterday morning, and because somebody reported a disturbance. Someone else called 911. And at 9:53 in the morning, I can't disturb nobody. I'm still, I'm not even a bit awake yet. Police arrive at the scene and calls for the crime scene investigating unit after seeing Gina Jameson had sustained visible injuries, which I would have loved to have been inspecting that. Tito and Janet are, by the way, are not married, but they have two twin boys. I don't know how that happened without being married. Anyway, according to TMZ, Tito's is currently in custody and on his way to the Huntington Beach Jail, Orange County, California. I'm sure he's out by now, but they may have put a restraining order against him, you know, not to be able to come around 500 feet or something like that, which would just kill me. Anyway, let's go on. F4W Online has noted before, Hulk Hogan is going to be on ABC's The View Thursday morning. Hogan's going to be appearing on Howard Stern radio show the same day, and NBC's Today Show on Friday. Please make a note of it. TNA is going to be bringing back their online TNA Today program with daily schedules, I guess, soon. The show will be every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know anything about that. I've never seen it. This kind of odd. Karen Angle's now taking independent bookings again through Bill Bierman. Rather, Bill Behrens. TNA's not interested, they say, in bringing in Jimmy Wang Yang. Not sure why. Word after last week's round of WWE releases was that at least one of the releases came from a wellness failure. No name was mentioned on the failure, but WWE hasn't made anything official, which is kind of unusual on that. But if you remember on one of my old updates, somebody put on their Twitter account that 3 strikes and you're out. He says, I guess it looks kind of nice down in Florida around this time of year. Look back on one of my old reports, it'll tell you who it was. Somebody's getting ready to come in. Hang on a second. Alright, let's finish trying this out again. While WWE creative team figured they would have a more normal schedule now following WrestleMania this year. They were out of their minds this past week with having to rewrite Raw due to the travel issues, and then write the Extreme Rules pay-per-view and the draft, plus this week's SmackDown and NXT. Well, it's just enough to make you quit, ain't it? Well, quit. WWE star Shad Gaspar, by the way, and his girlfriend had a son this past Thursday. Girlfriend? I don't know how not being married. How do you not be married and have kids? I don't know. Deadline and Hollywood.com reports that WWE paid 6 figures to acquire the rights for an upcoming movie on Gorgeous George's career. Latest word on Ted DiBiase's new stable with Brett DiBiase and Joe Henning is that they will debut within the next 2 weeks. As noted before, WWE is looking for a new name to replace the November pay-per-view Survivor Series. I'm surprised at that. Anyway, there's talk that WWE might hold a War Games style show. But apparently the idea fell through. Jim Ross, he has updated his question and answer section on his website with some commentary about a variety of topics. Ross's contract expires at the end of this month, and is widely reported that there's a strong interest in TNA if Ross and WWE are unable to come to terms. You know, it seemed like they went through this before. Waited to the last minute and then boom, signed Ross. I don't know whether that's you know, an angle they go after or what, but they've done that before. Updated card from TNA's Sacrifice pay-per-view coming out last night's Impact is that Sacrifice takes place on May 16th, by the way. Ultimate Sacrifice is going to be Rob Van Dam versus 3 other stars to be announced. Anyway, the Pope versus Mr. Anderson, and Sting versus Jeff Jarrett, and Ezekiel Jackson, he's going to be out with a quad tear. And he wrote on his Twitter account, Staples out, 60-degree range of motion going into the gym today to start with the machines. Oh, hell, he says, this is here what you call domination. So he's going to try and get his ass back in shape quick. WWE returns to Syracuse, New York, live SmackDown June 28th. Tickets go on sale on the 8th. And here's a little blurb from the WWE's next book, Rumble Road it's called, and it's going to be released July 20th, I guess. There's quite a bit on there. Man, I ain't going to have enough. Well, anyway, as soon as it's slow day, I'll go through this synopsis of kind of what's in the book. Otherwise, just wait and buy it. Hulk Hogan's going to be appearing Thursday on ABC. Well, I think I told you about that. Jeff Hardy will make his TNA Live debut. This weekend's show of Friday is Saturday night at Vicksburg MS and Greenwood's MS. TNA will be running a show at the former ECW Arena in Philadelphia on September 24th. I don't know if that means anything or not, whether they're going to try and do that ECW type angle or not. Anyway, talk about an angle. Kurt Angle wrote on his Twitter last night regarding his neck, to all the haters, my neck is fine. And if you don't think so, try me, or I'll kick your ass. I never felt better, don't underestimate me. Steve Austin posted some interesting things on his Twitter account while watching TNA's Impact. He says, great promo from Ric Flair, the greatest professional wrestler that ever lived, and that's the bottom line. He said so. On another note, Jay Lethal kills me with the Randy Savage inspired promos. Very entertaining. Says, love Shark Boy's gimmick. Highly entertaining. Good worker. Flair is the brass knucks to the balls. Truly the dirtiest player in the game still. Hogan to the ring. Time to change the channel. I'm about out of time. I better get the heck off here. That's about all he had to say. It was kind of funny stuff. But I got to go.